Welcome back to the Iced Coffee Hour. This is Daniel Mack. So far, this podcast, I would say, has made $50,000, not including sponsors.
No, wow, that's under.
Yeah, that's very rare we get under guesses.
Significantly under.
Oh, significant.
Well, I would.
$225,851.59.
Okay, because the brand sponsors, I feel like, are what pull a lot of it. Is that not true?
It is true.
Yeah, the brands definitely help us out a lot. Thank you, brands. But yeah, thank you so much for coming on, Daniel. We really appreciate it. You guys, I'm sure if you're on TikTok, you've seen Daniel
Anywhere,
before.
really.
Anywhere.
Gosh, you show up
Snapchat,
everywhere. Like, you can't get rid of you, man. I'm on Facebook.
Reels.
I'll scroll YouTube Shorts. I'll scroll Instagram. I'll scroll. You come up for me every, 10 TikToks. There's one of you.
Oh, gosh. I hope that's a good thing.
Yeah.
I hope so.
Yo, what do you do for a living? What do you do? And then they give off an answer. How did you get started doing this? And how many views and followers did you get so far from doing this, across the platform? It's got to be more than 10 million.
A monthly view count across all platforms?
I don't know. I mean,
it's got to be crazy.
It's in the billions. So on YouTube, I just crossed 1 billion views.
Oh
that's
my
YouTube alone.
gosh.
I think TikTok's a couple billion. And now, though, I'd say I think I have 17 or 18 million followers across all platforms. So it's really crazy because, I mean, I was working in finance prior. I graduated college, freshly out of college, and I moved to Dallas, Texas to do a job in finance, financial advising for Charles Schwab, the brokerage firm. And I had never done content before. I wasn't trying to be a content creator. I was content creation's not for me. I was going to work a desk job in finance for the rest of my life and be happy doing that. But then I just filmed a video because I had an idea over the summer. I was where, how are these people getting these cars? And I wasn't even the biggest car guy is the thing. People assume I'm the wizard of all things cars, and now I'm really good. But at the time, I was just kind of a moderate fan, you'd say. So I filmed the video, and it went crazy. My first post ever on TikTok had 20 million views in a day. And then I had 1 million followers on TikTok within a week.
Explain what that video was. Where was it filmed?
Okay, so it was in Dallas, Texas. I was with my friend Grant, and we were in kind of a fancy hotel area, literally hunting for cars because we came up with the concept. And I saw a Ferrari just pulled up at a hotel. So I asked the guy, hey, what do you do for a living? And he says, I don't even remember now, something like, I'm a doctor or something like that. And then we see another guy, he's in an Audi R8 and he just drops, some general life advice. But then we see a guy in a Lamborghini Huracan and he looks really fancy or just interesting. So he pulls out of the hotel and we start tracking him down the road and go 8 blocks. We roll up to his window and he looks over us with shades on after I asked the question. He's like, I sell drugs. And that was the video that popped it off. And I didn't even expect it at the time, but I post that and it just went absolutely crazy. I had no idea. I was refreshing my screen, what the hell? And all my friends and family were didn't even know it was me for a month or two because I never showed my face.
Wow.
So,
how did you evolve from that? So you obviously knew pretty quickly, immediately, you had a good concept. So what did you do after? You're just let's keep repeating this?
Yeah, I mean, people say find your niche on TikTok, which I think is really true, but I'm basically I was surprised that I thought I had 2 or 3 videos with it. I thought after, 1 or 2, people would stop caring. But I think people are always going to be interested in how to get wealthy, obviously. But I started branching out into other stuff. So I started doing yacht content. I'd go to Miami.
Yeah.
I'd break into these yacht yards in Miami, where you're not allowed to be with some of these really, really rich people. And I'd ask them on their ships, hey, what do you do for a living? And sometimes they'd invite me on and we go on a yacht party or something like that. Miami's crazy like that. But we started doing cribs, cribs, MTV cribs. And we'd go check out people's $40 or $50 million mansions. And I'd ask them what they do and they'd tell me and we'd check out their cool collections and interviewing people. It's such a broad phrase, what do you do for a living, that now I can sit down with people that are in various fields and I can ask them, how do you get wealthy? And it just keeps on evolving essentially. Yeah.
That's incredible. Now, how often is it that you get a really negative reaction?
It's funny. I just posted a video of all of the negative reactions I've ever gotten. Yeah, that one's funny. I'd say it's rare though. It's every, I don't know, 1 in 10, maybe less, maybe 1 to 5% of the time. It's normally not at a car show. I'll go to car shows and everyone's they know that I'm going to be there or they're in the car community so they want to show off their stuff. But I'll go to Rodeo Drive in Beverly Hills and you'll get some wonky characters out there. But sometimes people just yell at me. And I used to not like it, but now I love it because it's even better content.
Right.
Yeah.
What's some of the best advice you've gotten from these people? Well,
I mean, and you probably love this one, but real estate, number one. I mean, people ask me what's the most common job that people are in, and it's always real estate. Commercial real estate for the real ballers out there that have, yachts and whatnot. They're always in huge properties. But in general, real estate, get into that. It's never too early to buy a property, regardless of what the market's doing. People tell me that all the time. A lot of people are in like various industries like tech. That's kind of where you see like the new money McLaren drivers, not to stereotype certain car owners, but tech for sure. And then you get like the basic, like follow your dreams kind of people that don't really know what to say. But I'd say investing is obviously number one. And I kind of knew that with my background a little bit, but everyone invests that has this kind of money. Like you literally can't be wealthy by just having like a salary is what I've learned. And then also owning your own business is the other big one. So I'd say like real estate, own your own business, because there's only so much money you can make. Like as a doctor, even like you're capped out at what, like $300K a year or something like that.
3 to 5, depending on it, or if you private practice. Yeah.
So how long did you do the financial advisory stuff until you decided to quit that and do TikTok and like content creation full time?
So I was doing it for 9 months, I think. So I wasn't like a master or anything like that. I've been fascinated with finance my whole life, so I was always interested in it. But I was doing that job for like 9 months. And it was awful when I was doing it not because of the job itself. I was really interested in it, and people will be like, hey, like good thing you got out of that desk job. I actually really liked it. I thought it was cool. And I'm always interested in the stock market and stuff like that. But I was basically from the start of the job also simultaneously doing TikToks and whatnot. So like I'd finish work, I'd do like a normal 9 to 5. And then right after work, I would immediately jet on over to like some populated, like wealthy area, like a mall or whatnot. And then on the weekends, I would fly out to LA because I didn't live there yet. So I would basically be working like 100-hour weeks because after work, I would be editing or reaching out to people or doing like brand deal stuff. And then on the weekends, I was filming nonstop while also doing the regular 9 to 5. So it was quite the grind. And at some point, I remember I was filming with Paris Hilton in LA while still doing this normal job. And I woke up that morning and was just like, I'm quitting my day job. Like I was just with Paris Hilton. I got back at 8 a.m. or, late in the night, and I just woke up and was like, this is it. I'm putting in my 2 weeks, which was really scary. Yeah.
Were you making more money on TikTok at that point?
Yes. Yeah. I was pretty conservative with it. Like a lot of people are like, hey, like, it's pretty stupid to move out to LA, and it's like the city of broken dreams, essentially. Like people go out there to do acting and whatnot, and they fail. But I was making like, I think double my annual income at the time, and I had like 7 or 8 million followers on TikTok at the time. So I really could have quit earlier, I think, but I didn't want to be that guy that like moves out there and then has to move back or, quits the job.
What did your coworkers think about this? They know?
Yeah, they knew. Yeah. I kind of had to keep it under wraps a little at the beginning. You had to declare the income to your job, but I was like a little late on that. And they were just like gobsmacked. Like a lot of people didn't know it was me because I didn't show my face in videos for like 6 months. So even my friends basically were like, I see this Daniel Mack name popping up here and it matches your voice. Like, is this you? And I just had to be like, yeah, it's me. And then I started showing my face a little more, but everyone was shocked. Yeah.
Did Schwab have an issue with you having like a presence outside of them? Couldn't that be a liability if you did something and then they're like, well, he works at Charles Schwab?
No, definitely. Yeah. I mean, it was, they were really good with it though. I had a really great boss at the time. I think it could have gone way differently in any other circumstance, but, they knew about it, but it was getting like hairy at the end there. So
yeah, which office was it?
It was it was north of Dallas. So
okay.
The Plano office.
Okay, got it. Okay.
But at the time we were work from home, so I never actually went into the brand new facility ever.
Can you say about how much you were making right at the time of quitting from both sources?
Yeah. For the first, it was a 2-year program, so it's like you're getting your brokerage licenses and whatnot. So you weren't making a lot at the start until you actually became a full-fledged advisor. But I think it was around 55 or 50. So like just kind of standard out of college job. It would have amped up though. So the thing is I always wanted to do advising. That's why it was kind of a difficult decision. And I think out of like once you're 2 years out or so with your own book, you'd be making like around 6 figures or maybe slightly under at the start. So that was something I considered. I was like, well, this is what I want to do long-term for 40 years. What's a little payoff here quitting my job for a couple years potentially. But on TikTok, I think I was making, what really happened actually was I got my first Snapchat check in the mail. And that was $20,000 just off of 2 videos. It was probably one of my highest paid videos at the time. But at the time, I just expected it to be like a couple thousand, like $2,000. I remember getting the email. I was sitting in my apartment on the phone with my mom, actually, just talking about like my job and whatnot. I open up the Snapchat email and I see like a invoice or whatever to me for $20,200, something along those lines. And I just was like, this is a mistake. Like this can't be accurate. So I reread it, and that was with a 50% cut from Snapchat. So originally it was like 40,000 I generated them in ad revenue. And then after this it was 20. And I was like, oh, like I've done 2 videos this month and it did this much in revenue. I'm quitting my job. And then I went to Vegas or LA the next week.
And that was Snapchat Spotlight. That wasn't like the actual tiles.
No, it was my show on Snapchat, not Spotlight. I missed the train on that.
Oh, wow, yeah. You could have made a killing on there.
I know, yeah. People were reposting my videos on Spotlight and making like millions of dollars, and I didn't even know at the time.
Yeah, so for those that don't know, Snapchat launched this program to try to like have a TikTok type competitor where it was like a feed and you could post on there, and they had a budget. It was $1 million, was it per week?
Per day at the beginning.
Oh my God. $1 million
crazy.
Per day that they were allocating towards the highest viewed creators. So people were repurposing your content and then making like crazy
slimy, shady.
People made millions. Like Cam Casey's some guy, he's like their case study essentially. I think he made like $3 million off of like 10 videos or something on Spotlight.
How do you go from filming on your phone to then meeting all these celebrities?
I mean, it's DMs on Instagram is how I started out. So like there were a couple people that were really cool at the start when I had like low follower count, like low, but like a couple million on TikTok. So like I would just DM them out of the blue. And this is for like later in the game when I was doing more skits. So I originally was running up to people like on Rodeo Drive, like Giannis, like the NBA player, I just got him in a random video. Jason Derulo, I just literally got him at a gas station.
Wait, that was random? I thought that was planned.
No, not Jason Derulo. So some of the skits are like, I want people to know their skits with some of these celebrities. I'll literally like put like hashtag skit and people will be like, this is fake. And I'm like, yeah, they're playing a part here. But some of the beginning ones that I were doing were all legit with the celebrities.
Yeah, that Jason Derulo one, it's like, who just sees Jason Derulo at a gas station? Yeah. But did he know you from TikTok?
I assume so. Yeah, I mean, he was in Tarzana when we filmed it. And we were out there shooting kind of like a real estate, like crib style video. We pull over to get gas and Jason Derulo was like, his house is by there. Yeah. And he was in a green Huracan. So like we pulled off, essentially to go check it out. And Jason Derulo is just chilling there. But he must have known, I think.
He's just chilling
there. But let's say, how nerve-wracking was that for you to go up to Jason Derulo and say, hey, what do you do for a living?
Dude, I didn't even know if it was him at the very start. But it was crazy with some of these celebrities I've met. Like I've done...
What did he say?
He just said, I'm Jason Derulo for a living.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
I'm Jason Derulo.
Yeah.
That's a boss, man.
Yeah.
When you just say your name and you're like, oh, okay, I get it.
Yeah. He's one of the coolest guys. We filmed another follow-up like skit with him in Saudi Arabia. And the man is... probably one of the most genuine like A-listers you can ever meet. Like he's also really tuned in with like finance, and, like, investing and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. We communicated briefly. Actually, it was like 20 minutes where he wanted to do something in the finance space online, and wanted my opinion on that. I was like the entire time starstruck just to be like, he's calling. I dropped everything.
Oh, he called you?
Yeah, he called me.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's like he's calling right now. Shh.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, some of these
so nervous.
It's like we've done like Helen Mirren for a brand deal, and like Richard Branson, like Logan Paul, like people like that, and you're just like, okay, like don't be nervous.
Are people reaching out to you at this point, being like, hey, do a video, or I'm trying to promote something?
Yeah, I mean, all the time. It's just like a fine line between letting people know, like I don't want to do too many of them because I don't want people to think that my videos are like all fake and stuff like that. So like that's why I'm like I make it apparent where I'm like, if we're doing something with a celebrity, I want people to know it's like a skit. But then sometimes you just run into them, out of the blue, especially in LA. It's crazy.
Do you worry that there might you might have challenges long term with the same format?
Oh, definitely. Yeah. I mean, people are like, "Do you think you can do this forever?" And I'm not like stupid. I feel like there's no way that the trend could keep up for years and years. I'm surprised it's kept up this long. I think people are just genuinely fascinated with like how to acquire wealth, but I think it's obviously I need to adapt and change and do different stuff, kind of like what I've been saying with like houses, cars, all things luxury essentially. But I also want to move more into the investing sphere as well and really like sit down with people and find out like really like what do you do for a living and like how did you get this car, this house in a way that like a TikTok can't actually encapsulate, like 20 seconds.
So your TikToks are mostly entertainment value. Like you go up to people that are driving these expensive cars, ask them what they do for a living, and that doesn't really provide like how much insight as to like how they got to where they are, right?
Yeah.
But aren't you starting something where you can go more long form with some of the people you're asking and you can talk about like the actual process of becoming an anesthesiologist or like a singer?
Yeah, exactly. It's more long form I call it kind of mid form content. I don't know if that's a real word, but like 5 to 6 minute video and podcast style, like audio video. I have it on my Snapchat show essentially where I sit down with people. Sometimes I've been more lewd, we've had like an OnlyFans model on there, but it is interesting stuff. Like the OnlyFans industry in general is like, there's managers going on and there's like a lot of stuff on the back end that people wouldn't expect.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like just a monster empire that people don't really realize. So just cool, interesting occupations that you wouldn't expect, but then also anesthesiologist, doctor, like really what is your path to getting to this point? That's what I want to do more of, is the more of the long form.
You would do so well if you asked somebody, what do you do for a living? And then, doctor, can you give me 5 minutes of your time just to talk about this? And just like an impromptu interview on the street. I don't think like a fancy podcast setup or anything like that. Just on the street with a mic, just back and forth 5 minutes. I think would do so well.
Cool.
Or in the car with them. Of you driving in the car with them and they're just telling you their life story. I think that would do so well because it's like you're picking a random person off the street and hearing their story. It's not like filtered. It's just like whatever they say.
It's like raw,
Right.
We've thought about doing that with people in cars and whatnot. I mean, it's kind of like comedians in cars getting coffee, but like the actual like more serious version of that. Like I'm in their Lambo. I got them in a video maybe previously or whatnot. Like let's drive around in their car that you saw them originally in, and let's find out like the real like details on what they did. But I think that's a really good idea. With, like just I'm outside a hospital and someone's in like scrubs, and I'm like, give me the real like. I
think it did so well. You know what? Who did that? Did it great was Deadmau5, where it was, what was it? He took people in his McLaren and would go and get coffee with them or would go to McDonald's with them. And just him having a conversation as they drive to McDonald's, or it was like a fast food place, or Tim Hortons, because they're in Canada, and then they drive back. And it was so good, and they were like 30 minutes. And it was just him, just unfiltered. You see the guy getting in the car, and they just drive.
Oh, okay.
It's really cool. I think if you did something like that, it would do incredibly well.
It sounds like a really good idea.
Yeah.
Also, another thing to consider is, do you know like the TikTok salary transparent street?
Yes.
How they came out and they exploded. Like in the past month, I don't even know how many followers they have anymore.
I was just checking today. It's like 800K or so, 750.
But every single video that they post just pops off, and it's basically this girl that travels to different places, and she goes up to people, what do you do for a living, and how much money do you make? And she just does it over and over and over again, and people just like eat it up on TikTok. And I think if you could somehow incorporate also like revealing people's incomes, like for example, you see someone like a Bentley, and you go up to them, oh, what do you do? Oh, I'm a doctor. How much do you make? And then they'll do that.
How often do people lie?
I think a lot of people have seen the videos and they have like these, because some of the responses are insane. Like, and people are like, okay, this is like, there's no way they actually do that. I think a lot of them are expecting like me to maybe come up to them at some point. I mean, people will be driving around in like LA and they say that they've had like 30 people walk up to them and ask them the question. So that's why people go, oh, you're the guy, or like, are you the guy? Because I don't show my face always. So they're like, is this another person coming up to me, or is it like the real person that started it? So yeah, and it's happened to me before. Like I've been driving, I've had like rental cars in Miami or LA for the day, and I'll be driving and I'll be like at a stoplight, and people will roll down like their windows and be like, hey, what do you do for a living? And I'm like, I'm the one that does that thing. And they're like, what the hell? It's pretty cool. Yeah.
So what do you drive?
I drive right now a Tesla Model 3, which kind of angers some car people, but I just ordered a Porsche GT4.
Great car.
It'll be here in September. Looking forward to bringing it out on some canyons out.
How much did that cost you? Are you getting that at Sticker?
I think so. Yeah, from Porsche Dallas. Okay. Shout out Porsche Dallas. But they basically, it was like a 7-month wait, or like 50K over, like 100K over to get it from anywhere else. But I think they're pulling for me essentially if I do some kind of promo and show it off and whatnot. Cool. But yeah, I mean, I wanted to get a car because I'm kind of, I feel like me and you are pretty similar in that front, where I didn't want to get something that was like crazy out of reach at the moment, but I still needed to get something that I could bring around to like car shows. And as like the car guy,
it's a respectable car.
Yeah, it's like an investment too to get a car like that. I feel like I can't be driving around like a Model 3 forever as like the guy that's filming all these videos with cars.
And you could daily it. If you really wanted to drive it, you could drive that thing like 30,000 miles, no problems at all.
Yeah. What's your favorite car that you have?
The Tesla Roadster.
Oh,
that's your favorite car?
Favorite car.
You drive
by
like
bar.
It's
what? I thought you were gonna say the GT.
No, the Tesla Roadster. I'll take the Tesla out way more than I'll ever take the GT out.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. What year is it? It's the original.
That's that one is a 2010.
Oh, okay. I mean, Teslas just drive like. Yeah. They get a lot of hate because people are just love them so much because they won't stop talking about them, but it's because they're so good. Like, I'm obsessed with my Model 3. So.
I noticed you're also wearing that watch. Now, I remember seeing like when that video came out, you went up to a guy in a fancy car. Do you remember what car it was?
It was a Audi R8 in red, yeah.
Yeah, and you went up to him and you're like, all right, what do you do for a living? He's like, I have a watch dealership or something, right?
Yes.
And then he brings you to the dealership that he owns and he gives you a watch.
Yes, it's one of my best stories, actually. I'll tell you. So it's this guy, Timepiece Gentleman. He's in Dallas, and he's like a watch broker, basically. I think he lives in LA now. I get him in a video. This is like my 4th video I've ever filmed, or maybe 3rd, like one of my first initial shots. And I just say, hey, what do you do for a living? He's like, I'm a watch broker. And then he shouts out his Instagram. And normally now I wouldn't add that portion with the shout out because people would think it's like a paid post. Like today, I probably wouldn't have done it. But back then, I remember I get on the phone with my roommate and he's like, yeah, just leave it in. Like maybe something cool will happen to you. And I was like, okay, fine. And then I post the video and a day later I get like tagged in a bunch of stuff and I still don't have like really any followers, but this is on Instagram. So I had like no followers on Instagram at the time. And everyone's like pointing me to go to his page. And on his page is him holding a Rolex bag. And it's like, everyone get Daniel's attention. I want him to give him a gift for shouting me out. So I'm like, okay, there's no way this man's about to give me a free Rolex for just shouting him out in a video. And the video did decent. It got couple million views, which is solid marketing. But I'm like, okay, let's find out what's happening. So the next day I meet up with this guy after work. He gives me this Rolex. It's a Datejust.
Can I see it?
Yeah, take a look. 41 millimeter. I think they go for like 12,000 now or so. Jubilee band, all that kind of stuff. It's a great color.
Oh, you know what's funny? I got the almost the same thing.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's a different dial.
Oh,
okay. The same size. I think mine's a little bit smaller.
Yeah,
and mine is a different bracelet.
Yeah, yours is smaller.
Yeah.
So the Jubilee
I have the oyster
band,
bracelet. Yeah.
It's even more expensive too. So I'm surprised he because the bezel, it's like a fluted bezel.
Yeah, it's white gold.
Yeah.
Here you go, Jack.
He balled out on it.
Wow.
And then he filmed the video and he posted it and it got him so much more business by posting it. Like this guy's like a genius that he said he sold like 100 watches because of the video.
Wow. I believe it though.
Yeah.
When did you post the video? What year?
This was...
just give me like a rough.
It was literally like 2 weeks after my first video. So it was like mid-September of 2020. Yeah.
Okay. So the watch market was going crazy then. And so you posted it at the right time, just as the market was taking off and everyone was buying watches like that. And he was in the right spot at the right time.
He's a genius.
Combined with your promotion in a way, just not even thinking about it.
Yeah. I had no clue. I was just like, oh, here, let me post this video. Yeah.
But first, we got to thank our sponsor, NordVPN.
Graham, I was at the airport recently, and it looked like my laptop got this cool new feature. I got all these ads that started popping up, and it said someone was collecting all my data for me.
That's not a cool feature, Jack. You really got to make sure to secure your network and make sure your data is protected. Thankfully, today's sponsor, NordVPN, has the fastest and easiest way that you could do that. NordVPN is extremely easy to use. All it takes is one click and you're connected.
Not only is it super easy to connect, but they actually have the fastest speeds out of all VPNs, and I can personally attest to this. I've been using NordVPN for over 2 years now.
My favorite part about NordVPN is their new threat protection feature. Threat protection blocks pop-up ads and web trackers, and when you click on any URL, they will scan it and block it if it's a malicious one.
Another really cool feature about NordVPN is you can change your location, because on Netflix, certain countries block out certain shows or movies, but you can just change your location with the VPN to wherever it is allowed, and you can watch any movie or any TV show that Netflix has from wherever. And that, honestly, guys, is a feature I've actually personally used.
So get an exclusive NordVPN deal today using the link down below in the description or going to nordvpn.com/icedcoffee to get started today.
You can get a huge discount off your NordVPN plan plus one whole additional month for free. It's risk-free with Nord's 30-day money-back guarantee, guys. It's my favorite VPN. It's the best out there. Definitely check it out with that link down below in the description.
Again, the link is down below in the description to get started today. And now with that said, let's get back to the podcast.
Have you seen much like external benefit from approaching a bunch of really wealthy people and asking what they do?
I mean, just crazy connections. Like every single person that I interact with is wealthy, like because they're all just driving these crazy cars. Some of them, I mean, I don't know, a couple of them are rentals probably. I've asked people and they've been like, yeah, this is a rental. So they're honest in that fashion. But just like the crazy connections, like I'll really, like, I know people in every city now. Like if I go to Miami, like there's people there that have yachts and they're like, come hang out and do this thing. I feel like if I started a business, I would have a lot of like wealthy people that could maybe help pool me money, or I could work with. So I don't see myself going back to like a 9-to-5 anytime soon. It'd probably be like my own business with people that I've met that are wealthy. And
I'm curious if you could put a price tag on your connections. Like when you think of your network and how much that's worth. Gosh, what do you think, man? If you were to like buy that network, someone who's $10 million, $20 million, like the people that you know at this point are worth more than you would probably ever make. Just having those connections and having those friendships.
It's crazy. Yeah. I mean, like it's, I got to do something with it though. Because people tell me that all the time. They're like, oh, you have all these crazy connections. And I'm like, I don't know what to do with them yet. Not like, I use friends or whatnot as like connections only. Like, but yeah, I feel like in the next, couple of years or something, some of these people I've met will come to like be really cool, either business partners or life advice people or whatnot, getting into fields. Yeah.
Do you plan on doing something like that, like creating a new vertical, or do you plan on continuing going in the content creation route and building up a social platform like that?
I think maybe both at the same time. Like I'll do the content creation as long as it's still making me a lot of money. But because I mean, you can make so much money doing content, way more than people would expect, honestly. But I think also at the same time, while using my platform, I would start a business and build it up. But it's not as easy as people think. I mean, like to even promote like a merch line and stuff like that. People see like, oh, you have 1.7 mil or so on Instagram. Like if even 1% of your audience were to buy a shirt, then, but it's not always that simple. So yeah, I think it just depends. Yeah.
Yeah. Now you were mentioning earlier about like car stereotypes. Can you share any of those? It's like the tech people go for, McLarens, and the flashy people go for the Lambos. Have you noticed something between cars that, can you share that?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. What have you noticed? Yeah.
Well, I mean, you got the classics like Rolls Royce people. I never can even get them in videos because their windows are always up. It's always a miracle if I can film that. But Bentley, especially Rolls Royce, you got the old crusty people every time. Like they're crusty, they're old, they don't really want to talk. Sometimes they're spirited old fellas, but for the most part, it's like crusty white man in the Rolls Royce. Or like, yeah, they have a driver or whatnot. And then you have like Bentley people. They're kind of usually like older as well. They're like 60, 70. That's pretty standard. Usually kind of friendly, but also kind of alongside the Rolls Royce train. And then you have Aston Martin people, more like fancy. They're not really like flashy. So a lot of the times the Aston Martin people won't want to tell me exactly what they do, but a lot of them are like lawyers. I don't know why. They just, like,
I can see that. Yeah.
Love the Astons.
I know a lawyer with an Aston.
Yeah, me too. I know a couple. Yeah, it just makes sense.
Yeah.
And they're kind of private normally, or like businessy, like in some kind of business. Then you have the McLaren people, and they're like young, new money. Like they're usually in tech. They love getting the crazy colors on them, and they love whipping around Rodeo Drive with their windows down. Ferrari is harder to kind of get a hand on. Ferrari is difficult with like who they give cars out to. Like they'll sue people all the time. You can't modify them. So you normally get like an older crowd, and Ferrari won't even sell you a brand new Ferrari. You have to like go through their many hoops of ownership and weird rules and signing your life away. And then Lambo people are also kind of like McLaren people. They're usually like younger money, kind of anti-Ferrari, so you usually be younger than Ferrari people. The Bugatti people are never responding to me. Like I've literally gotten like maybe one or two like Bugatti Chirons or something like that in a video. Anything above like 1 million or so, they're private people. I don't even know why they come out to these car shows, because like people can see what they look like, but it's usually a never. They won't do it.
Usually, I've noticed it's royalty, or sometimes it's something illegal. There was a big issue years back. This must have been almost 10 years ago, where there was a guy who disappeared with a Bugatti, and he apparently had ties to like the Malaysian mob or mafia or like some ties like that, and he came to the US, brought all this money over and betrayed one of them, and then he just disappeared.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It was a big thing in the car community back then.
Oh, wow.
And this was in Beverly Hills.
Oh, really?
Yeah, or he was offed.
Oh.
And like, oh, maybe that was it. I think he was offed. And people were like, and then all the rumors started to speculate that he was involved in something he shouldn't have.
Oh,
but there's some like crazy, usually go in like that sort of space sometimes for the crazy ones.
It's happened to me. Like I've gotten, I guess this is public info now. I don't really always talk about it out loud. I think I'm fine. But basically I got some guy in a video in a Ferrari, and he's with this like girl who's like an Israeli citizen, and he's from Syria, or his dad was from Syria. He's like on the FBI's most wanted list, and he's like banned from America essentially. But I get him, the son, in America. I post the video. They're acting kind of weird. They're like, we're students, or I'm a student. And I'm like, student driving a Ferrari must be a really, I don't even know what you say to that. Yeah. Like, you're a student. And then everything seems fine. So I post the video, and then I get like hit up by all these organizations. Like, and they're like, we'd like to interview about this person that you interacted with. And then I finally get a link to an article, because it's trending on YouTube. It gets like 5 million views on YouTube, this video. I think it may be gone now, actually, so I don't know what happened there. But it's like Playboy billionaire son of Syrian FBI most wanted, spotted in Rodeo Drive with Israeli girlfriend. Like press, like Vice News or like Forbes or something make an article. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I didn't know. So I don't know who else I've got.
You had him, man. He was right there.
Yeah. So I think he's all good. I think it's his dad who's.
Did you feel nervous about like your own safety or anything from that, or were you fine?
I mean, I feel like it's like a genuine. I don't know. that's why I said I haven't really talked about it much. So you guys might be some of the first people
fine.
to hear it. But
yeah. It's not like he got the guy like the fugitive himself.
No.
And the video's already out. It's not malicious. So like, I would feel like if you were out there to try to expose him, then you could be in danger. But the fact that it's a one-off thing and like you're doing it to everybody, I don't think you're at risk.
It's a bad place, to film. Wrong place, wrong time for him, I guess you could say.
A lot of really wealthy families, by the way, will come here and they'll take like one class at UCLA and they're a student.
Yeah.
That's what I've seen a lot.
A lot of people from like Dubai, Saudi Arabia, I'll get like the ballers that are on Rodeo Drive, and they're driving every single time I see them, they're in a new car, and it's like a lot of royalty. So yeah, that's probably like 5% of the people I get on Rodeo.
Yeah, I rented a house to a guy like that, and it was $50,000 a month, but it was just for his friends to stay there because he rented out the Beverly Hills Hotel. And like an entire floor for him and his family and the assistants and like, all of that. But this house was next to the Beverly Hills Hotel for his buddies.
Really?
It was insane. What they'll do is they'll take their cars and they'll fly them down. And then they'll be able to park them on Rodeo Drive or outside of the Beverly Wilshire Hotel.
Wow. And they like cargo, like fly them? Like,
yes.
Whoa. Okay.
They'll just show up one day. And the thing is, they'll have like multiple people just to drive these cars around so they could park them all outside of the hotel.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, and then they just walk out and they'll pick which car they want to drive. It's insane.
I was just there at the Beverly Hills Hotel like 2 days ago, and I'm just looking at all the cars that are there, and it's like 50 supercars.
Yeah, what's the other one that's really good? The Peninsula Hotel. There's basically all those hotels there. You go to the valet and guaranteed there's something worth $1 million there.
Yeah, nutty. It's crazy. And just the amount of wealth. And I've gone to a bunch of different cities like Miami, Vegas, LA are like kind of like the hot spots, but like LA, you get like the people that are like really truly wealthy, and they're just there, Beverly Hills style. And then Miami, you'll get like the people that are like the Bitcoin ballers out there. I call them like they're like the new. It's like the Bitcoin city now. Like when I go there, you got a 50% chance of running into like a crypto bro in Miami. So it's super interesting.
Oh no! Now they're trading in their Ferraris.
Yeah. Speaking about crypto, have you ever tried to ask like people in normal cars, because we know somebody, the Dogecoin millionaire, and he drives like this very unsuspecting car. So have you ever for a day tried like the Corollas or the Priuses just to see like what you would get?
People have told me to do it. The people say do it with bad cars sometimes.
Yes.
That's one thing, and I was gonna do it at the beginning, but now I feel like that would come off like really bad. But I think that's an interesting idea with like just regular people, like regular cars, just kind of getting like their life advice and whatnot.
Yeah, the thing is, you'd have to ask them how much money they make.
Yeah.
Because you could find somebody and be like, I own my own business, but you don't know if it's like, $20,000 a year business or $20 million a year. If you ask how much they make and they're driving a Corolla, how much do you make? $5 million a year.
Yeah.
You're driving this?
Yeah, the Buffetts out there.
Yeah.
Why waste money on a depreciating asset?
Yeah, that's what you would need if you could just ask them, how much money do you make?
Yeah, it's like salary transparency.
Right, and that's also a good way that you could always transition instead of what do you do for a living? How much money do you make?
Yeah. I think it depends on who you get. Some people might be like, get out of my face, very rude, but some
you
people
the IRS.
No, literally, people say I'm like an undercover IRS operative. I don't know if I've ever exposed.
I bet you have.
I'm sure. Like, okay, you're being audited. Well, you were in this viral video of you driving a Lamborghini. Like, where do you get this
claim
money?
yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
but
I'm
your tax return says $10,000 a year.
I've ruined thousands of lives. So.
Yeah, you could have. So how have you been able to turn this into a business? Because I'm seeing some people off camera here. And how much is involved behind the scenes to do this?
I mean, there's a couple layers. I keep it. So I have my agent, Steven. He's over here. Shout out, Steven. He helps me do brand deals. So anytime I guess I'm like my own manager. Steven's the agent. So a lot of like TikTok people will have like their own manager completely, and they'll handle like their email, like their day-to-day stuff like that. So like I'll still get like inbound emails to my email. I'll take a look at it, whatever. I'll pass it along to Steven. He will do all the negotiating. And forgive me if I butcher some of what you do, but he's the negotiation man. Like before, when I was without Steven, who works at CAA, they're one of the biggest firms in the world.
They're huge,
Yeah, they're the biggest, maybe, I think, yeah. I would be negotiating myself, and I'd be like, way undercutting myself. Like my first couple brand deals I was doing was like $5,000. $15,000 or like $10,000, stuff like that, and it would like just was way low. This is right when I was first starting out, like with my account, so I had a couple million, but still like getting sizable view amounts. So then Steven will like negotiate with, the brand. They'll basically try to up it to whatever we're comfortable with. A lot of the legal on the background is huge. all the fine tuning of documents and redlining and stuff like that, it's back and forth for like sometimes up to months and whatnot. And meeting with the people, you know, you're FaceTiming with them or WebExing, excuse me, setting up what the video idea will be, making a script. So sometimes I'll jump in there, and once the deal's been set and all the other stuff I'm forgetting about is done, then I'll make a script, and then that'll go through redlining and approval. And then once that's done, then you finally can shoot. And then there's the edits after the shooting, and there's always a million of them. And Blake over here is my producer, and basically once you shoot the video, and we think it's good, we always think it's good, and we make it our style. Brands have certain tastes, and they, you know, want it to be perfect to what they want to do for their marketing. So we'll go back and forth, sometimes like 5 or 6 times, you know, with different edits. And then that's when the video is posted.
Yeah. Give us an example of a brand. How do you integrate a brand and what do you do for a living?
I mean, it's nice because it's such a broad topic. So like, what do you do for a living could be associated with like any brand. Like I could go up to someone in a car and they could be a representative of the brand, or like I've gone up to like BMW, for example, I did a video with, and they had a brand new electric car that we shot with, and they have a professional BMW driver in the car. And he's like, get in, man. Like, let me show you the car. You know, I'm a race car driver. So you can use pretty much any occupation. It's so broad, and I didn't realize how good it was when I made it. I just, you know, essentially filmed the video, but it works for pretty much any
That's true.
situation.
I didn't think about that.
Yeah.
And I've seen those videos.
Yeah.
That's interesting. That's a good spin on it. I really like that.
It's just so broad. It's like I didn't realize how good it was for how broad it is.
Yeah.
I got lucky with it, I guess you could say. Yeah.
And walk us through like an average day. How many hours do you work? What do you work on?
I work more than people would expect. I think people with TikTokers, like they say, you know, you're not just doing the dances in front of the camera. Like I hopefully will never have to do a dance in my life. But I'll wake up in the morning normally. I'm a night owl though, so sometimes people will be like, oh, you wake up at 10:30, like you're lazy. But I stay up until like 3 or 4 sometimes, like working. So my whole schedule's a little shifted. But usually I'll wake up like 10:30 or so. I'll check my email normally first. Sometimes Steven and I will hop on a call and we'll be discussing like what a brand wants, or, you know, we'll be reaching out to brands or they'll be reaching out to us. I'll usually start filming something during the day. Like weekends are my film days. So I'll go out to like a car show, go to Rodeo, wait around for like 6 hours for something interesting to happen. If I'm not filming like an ad or doing, tracking people down, like literally on the street, then we'll be like editing videos, or, you know, posting is really what takes up all my time. Like I've managed 5 platforms and I post everything myself. So like I'll wake up in the morning and say I have one video. I'll basically stack the videos in order of what makes me most money. So Snapchat will be first. Like you'll see everything on Snapchat a week prior to anything else. And then
Gotta
Facebook.
do that, Jack. Hear that?
Yeah, Snapchat's where it's at.
Wow.
I don't want people to see it on TikTok and then skip away from Snapchat. So it's kind of like a funnel of Snapchat, Facebook, Reels, which is newer, and then YouTube and TikTok, and then Instagram last because they don't have me in their Reels fund. So thanks a lot, Instagram.
You're not in the Reels fund?
No,
I'm even in the Reels fund.
They don't like
and I haven't posted Reels. That's the crazy thing.
They never invited me. I think because I post every day, they're like, why give them money?
No.
So it's super screwed up. I don't have an Instagram rep, but so Instagram's on the bottom, and then basically all day long I'll go through all 5 of those, and sometimes I'll post 5 posts a day. So you're getting the captions, you're replying to people to get engagement up. And all that stuff, promoting it on your stories. That's what takes up like 40% of my day, is just getting all these posts on and then monitoring them, commenting to them, and making the thumbnails and all that stuff.
So you've got this down to a science now, of like what to post. Do the captions matter that much?
I'd say so.
Okay.
Oh, captions on screen?
Yeah.
Oh, for sure.
No, I mean the captions on like below an Instagram post or with a
description.
Oh,
Yeah,
like the
like
actual
yeah.
caption. Yeah, I'd say so. I think it's important, you know, but I wouldn't say it's like the end all be all. I think hashtags also aren't that important. I don't know if it helps too much with like, I don't know. I mean, I feel like you know for YouTube more than me, but my number one recommendation to people is captions on screen that aren't auto generated, but like moving around to keep you stimulated and fast cuts. Yeah.
Can you share how much money you're making?
I can give you like a rough estimate.
Okay.
Here. I'd say it depends on what's going on with like brand deals and stuff like that. But and some months are different than others, but like on Snapchat, and that's my primary income source, some months can be like 15,000 only. Some months can be like 60,000 per month. And then Reels has a new Facebook Reels fund where you can cap out at 35K a month. So I can't get that now. Like they used to make it like 50 million views would be the cap, and now it's like 150 or 200 million views. So that was good for like a month or two while it lasted. But Reels, I can make like roughly Well, it just depends now, but around 10, 20,000, 10,000, I'd say now. And then brand deals can be, I don't want to give too much info on that.
That's fine.
But they're just a rough estimate around that front. So
yeah. So what would you expect over the course of a year? Just like an average year, what do you think that would equate to through everything?
I'd say it depends. Like, because the thing is, last year was the big blowout year for me, and then this year's different. It's like more money in different areas, but as far as like ad revenue goes, it's kind of been going down a little bit. It goes through like phases, but definitely mid six figures. I'd say is probably standard for like a year to year basis.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
Yeah,
I think you need to be expanding this.
Yeah.
I get so worried, but I'm so like pessimistic when it comes to like all things social media. For me, it's like, it's last month, I got to make it good. I worry that like beyond another year or two, you got to figure out a shift. I think the podcast, man, gonna make you so much money.
I agree.
Steven's been telling me, the podcast.
Yeah, 5 to 10 minutes, enough where you could, because didn't TikTok have like the 10-minute limit now?
10 minutes.
Yeah, but I think you did like 5-10 minute interviews.
Yeah.
Not a full podcast like this, 5-10 minutes. Post on Facebook
posting
too.
It where, like, I'm curious where, so on your podcast.
YouTube for sure.
Yeah,
100%
YouTube. TikTok, if they do, or TikTok, you even just do 3 minutes.
The
on
Snapchat
TikTok.
tiles would be good as well.
Yeah, that and Facebook.
Yeah. I think just repurposing it. Do you film vertical for all that, or in vertical and horizontal? So is
You
the
probably have to, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you would have to.
I wish they'd make a phone. I've been telling Apple, not really my direct line to, Mr. Apple, but why don't they have a phone that has the ability to record in vertical and horizontal at the same time? It would be great.
That's a
what's
really
nuts?
good idea.
Like, why is that not a
what's-
thing?
What the? What? Why? Like that's something for me. That's a problem everyone has had.
It's insane. I don't know
Why?
why it's not a thing, and I don't even know if people. I'm sure people have thought of it. Like
That's
I feel
a
like every
genius
good
idea.
I'm like, yeah.
That's one of
run
those
with it.
ideas where it's just like, why didn't I think of that?
You could do a Patreon.
Yeah.
You could do a Patreon and then release early on Patreon, or you can release the interviews on the Patreon.
You could have OnlyFans girls on there. What do you do for a living? Let me show you.
Yeah.
Only on
sexual.
Patreon. What?
I don't know. The Patreon people tell me to do it, and they reached out to me, like Patreon specifically, and they're like, "Why don't you have one?" But I don't know. I hate promoting it. I don't know. I hate promoting a lot of stuff, and I feel like I should just get better at doing it.
You got to get better at it.
I just it's so cringe to me. Like I was just kind of shy starting out with my account, so I didn't show my face. Something to me just with getting like, what up, y'all? Subscribe to my Patreon. I know like everyone does it. I just like got to get better at doing it.
You have to. And people will want to support you, would be happy to do it.
Yeah.
I would say probably 90% of people don't care.
You have to
8%
see
of
it as
people will
something
do
that's
it.
mutually beneficial.
Yeah.
It's like you're providing value to these people in the same way that they're providing value to you.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's an interesting way of looking at it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it makes sense, early access to videos.
Yeah.
Like, if I really liked someone, I would be like, sure, I'll pay for that. Yeah.
If you're already tapped out in how much you can work, you can hire someone else out. That's overhead, and the Patreon can help pay for that. And you can produce more with the Patreon as well, which is awesome.
yeah.
Let's talk about different platforms and where you think the most valuable platform, like which one is it? And if you were to rank them on having a presence, how would you go from like number 1 to like number 5?
Well, it depends on what kind of content you make. So like if you make short form content, and I know it's different for you. You do long form content. So like at least on YouTube. And
We do clips on TikTok.
Okay, yeah. So TikTok pays, I'll tell you exactly how much TikTok pays. I mean, you guys probably know too, but $20 to $30 per million views, which is awful. Like you'll literally have a video with 10 million views and ad revenue, you're making nothing. So I'd say as far as like money, but then you're getting all the brand deals as well. So like TikTok to me is, if I weren't getting brand deals through TikTok and it wasn't my biggest platform, I would be like, screw TikTok, it's on the bottom, I'm posting it last. So it's all about the brand deals, so I keep that in mind, because Instagram I'm doing brand deals as well, and they don't pay me anything, but I still beef it up and post on there as well. But as far as like Snapchat to me is the best platform, but I post like compilation videos. And I don't see it being around though forever. Like it sort of could be dying. So I don't know where to rate it there, but I'd say YouTube has their stuff together. They're kind of ahead of the game on the shorts field of stuff. Like they're competing with TikTok now much better. And now they have a bonus fund as well. So I think YouTube's obviously going to be there forever to stay. Facebook's the sleeper pick though, I'd say. Like people in America, at least, like globally, everyone uses Facebook. 2 billion users a year, a day or a month or whatever. And people, at least, that I talk to are like, why would you get a Facebook? But that's where you make so much money. Like people like Supercar Blondie, for example. You know,
Yeah, she's huge on Facebook.
Yeah, I was talking to her. She's like, this is by far our biggest platform to make money on. And they, you know, you post 3 to 4 minute videos. You can do 2 ads on a 4-minute video or so, and no one is thinking about it. I mean, obviously people internationally are, but for some reason in my generation, at least, it's like Facebook's dead. But like money-wise, Facebook is not dead, and I was late to it anyways. Too.
The thing is, I think the people with money to spend are on Facebook because they tend to be a little bit older and they have the discretionary income. Versus some of the other platforms are so young that it's harder to target them for ads.
Yeah, Facebook's the best apparently.
Yeah.
For ad targeting. I mean, it's caused a little bit of problems.
I just tried doing Facebook again. By the way, remember I was doing that. I did that
Really?
for
So
6
you're not
months.
doing that yourself, are you?
No. There's another company who did it, but yeah. So I did Facebook reposting my videos from the main channel and like little compilation clips and whatnot on Facebook for 6 months. Did nothing at all. And I
Yeah,
had
but your videos were like 10 to 12 minutes, right?
No. They cut them down.
They cut them down?
They cut them. Yeah, they fully edited the videos.
Wow.
And we had a talk, and we were both very honest. They said, we just don't think your content is working for this. You know, Facebook tends to be an older demographic. A lot of it is international, and your videos are very focused to younger U.S. Audience. And it turned out, then I stopped in January. Turns out that just like out of nowhere, it started getting traction, and it was getting like 10 to 20,000 views a day on Facebook, just randomly. So
Wow.
I'm starting it back up. Yeah, see what happens.
Huh. I mean,
Yeah,
I think-
it was so weird, but I've heard good things about Facebook.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have a big international, like international is huge for me. I think America's only like 20% of my audience or 25. It's barely the majority. And then older too, like my demographics, like my top demographic is like 25 to 35, and then 35 to 45 or so is almost the same as 18 to 25, which is really interesting. But I think it's because older people are into cars too.
I can see that.
Yeah.
And also your content is watchable, just no matter where you are in the world. Do you do different languages?
Yeah. Oh, like as far as like sub
Yeah, either subtitles or voiceovers. Like Mr. Beast is doing like Mr. Beast in Spanish, and like,
Yeah.
have you thought about doing that? You could just repurpose
There are
everything.
companies that do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've talked to a couple. Some of them were really sketchy. Like they were really always sketchy. The ones, so we need to find like a legit one, because I brought it up and I've been like, well, they do it all for you, but it's like the messages are sketchy. They want like your payment info. It's just
I know a legit one.
okay.
Yes.
All right, you gotta hook it up after
Yes.
this.
Yeah,
Okay.
we could do that for our podcast too. Just do everything in a different language. That'd be so difficult.
Yeah.
Imagine transcribing that.
Oh my god. Yeah, Mr.
Finding
Beast
someone for
got
the
it.
entire
Yeah.
podcast.
I think he also,
Yeah.
believe it or not, has like a company or something, or he has a partnership with a company that does that as well.
Oh yeah.
I think so. I don't
Yeah.
quote me on that, but yeah.
He was talking to Joe Rogan or something like that about that. I was just
Yeah, that's-
listening to
yeah,
it.
ex- yeah, I think
I was
that
listening
was
to
where I
that
heard it.
podcast like
Yeah.
2 days ago. So
It's a good podcast.
He makes so much money doing that too. It's like, why didn't other people do that? But I guess he's kind of leading the
Yeah,
he
trend
is.
there.
Yeah, that's something I would never even think of, but now that he's doing it, it makes sense.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's so easy too.
Yeah.
Like, you literally don't do anything.
Right.
Yeah.
So one other thing I want to talk about is it seems like you're a master at getting on every platform and blowing up on every platform. What are some of the strategies or things that you've changed in your own content creation style that have like tremendously affected your trajectory?
Yeah, I mean, some of them are like kind of basic that you would expect. Like, I would say obviously number one, and especially for short form, I'd say I'm like the master of short form. Long form, I still haven't mastered completely. May need to look to you guys on that one. But for short form, I mean, if you just watch someone on TikTok, like watch them scroll, people say you have 3 seconds to hook someone. You have like literally 0.2 seconds to hook someone. Like it needs to be so on my videos, like cha-ching pops up. It's like stimulating. The captions are bouncing on the screen and moving around. Like I would not use like auto-generated text, at least for short form. And I'm going to speak to TikTok as I would to like YouTube Shorts and all that. It's kind of all the same. But essentially, yeah, you got to hook them like faster than you'd expect. Like there can't even be any lag time is what I call it between any portions of the video on any short form. I used to, when I started out, I think that was because it was a new trend. I had like more leeway and pauses and whatnot. But now when I shoot videos, like this, if someone just says like, that's chopped now. It's really like boom, 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 like so stimulating. Like we call it like crack video is what Blake and I call it. I'm like, make it more cracked. Yeah, and we'll be like, okay, this is cracked now. So that's how you know a video is like going to do well, is if it's like crazy stimulating, or you cut it early. And then as far as, I just tell everyone to post on all platforms. Like people are like, I'm not on Facebook because, and I'm like, why? Like get your same short form video, post it on Shorts, post it on Reels, post it on Snapchat, and then be consistent as well. Like people say to do that a lot, but I post every single day or every other day. And I wouldn't have more than like a week or so break, and maybe take a break for whatnot. But I'll schedule stuff in advance, so there isn't a big gap.
Does that worry you about people's attention spans being like just turned to mush?
Yeah. It's already happening, I think, because of TikTok. People can't barely sit through long form videos a lot of the times now in some circumstances because they're like, I need more simulation.
We're a dying breed, Jack.
Yeah.
Seriously, I have a feeling we're a dying breed.
The podcast?
The
podcast is going to be
attention
fine.
spans. I don't know.
I'm actually extremely bullish on podcasts in the same way
Only
that,
because you could clip them up.
yeah, that's exactly. No, it's because
Cha-ching.
it's like competitors are music. Because it's for people that are in the gym, they're driving to work, or they're like, traveling. That's when you listen to podcasts. And we're not competing with YouTube
Damn
videos or TikTok and
Metallica
stuff like that.
taking away our
Yeah,
viewership.
you can't do. Yeah, when
That's
you're
true.
driving, you literally can't watch something. Like you can't watch it. Yeah,
I don't sit down and watch podcasts. The only time I listen to podcasts quite often, but it's when I'm driving or when I'm working out.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to be scrolling on TikTok when I'm
You know
driving.
what'd be funny?
Yeah.
Comment,
so dangerous.
comment if you guys are at the gym right now watching this. Seriously, just comment and be like, "Yep, Graham, I'm at the gym right now." Don't comment if you're driving.
No, just
but
pull over on the side
pull
of the road
over
and
right
tell
now
us
and
you're
say,
driving.
"I'm driving right now."
Yeah.
You're right though.
yeah.
Because
Yeah.
I only listen to podcasts when I'm driving or on an airplane.
So we're
with
not
no Wi-Fi.
competing with like TikTok and stuff, which that's the reason why I'm super bullish on podcasts.
Yeah, that makes total sense.
Yeah, but here's the thing: is that people are getting older. Gen Z is coming up right now.
Yeah.
And their attention spans are like a minute,
Yeah.
So
And
like
self-driving cars,
So
too.
eventually that minute is going to take over. It's going to be just everything you watch is going to be like minute.
Yeah.
Everything. You're going to go on TV or not even watch TV, but like your TV is basically going to be like 30-second clips just
Yeah,
over
it's
and
like
over.
Rick and Morty style.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you seen the videos going over like the TikTok conspiracies of like, how it is here versus like overseas? Have you seen some of those?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
Fill me in.
Yeah, apparently. Oh, and this is a what, Jack? I
didn't say anything.
Yeah,
man.
go and watch any of the videos that say like TikTok is the most evil app ever. Now, I'm going with an open mind, but apparently they show different content here than they do elsewhere.
Oh,
and
They try to
like
dumb
more
us down.
yeah,
like,
try to
I've
dumb
heard
us down.
In China, it's like
Right.
it's like they're learning about how to create,
Right.
structures.
Very
and,
very inspirational, uplifting stories, and here we get like lip syncing
Yeah.
dances.
Yeah,
Just
the
like
trends.
like nothing.
mukbangs.
I have heard about that.
Yeah.
That's what we get.
They're educating them. It's like only educational content is like praised over there,
Yeah.
and over here it's like shut down. Yeah.
They're getting very strict, by the way, in China about influencers. They ran a story in CNBC, I think it was last night. It says now influencers have to have proven qualifications if they are to talk about certain subjects.
No gurus, no finance gurus anymore.
So
wouldn't be bad then.
I would not have a career there. But yeah, they want you to be licensed with the proper credentials to be able to talk about certain topics. And with that also, they said that they did not want any flashing of luxury goods, a luxury lifestyle, or anything that was extravagant or wasteful, including, by the way, wasting food was something that they specified in that.
Wow.
It was very
This
interesting.
was done by like the government?
Yeah.
Official? Wow.
Yeah. And then it was also no live streaming after 10 p.m. Or it was like no watching live streams until after 10 p.m.
Well, live
Something like
streams
that.
to me are, at least, have you been on the TikTok live stream?
Yeah.
It is like a nightmare. It's way worse than Snapchat Discover page thumbnails go. It's like you are seeing the bottom of society essentially on purpose though. Like it sounds bad. They're literally like it sounds basically these people are like they're doing the weirdest stuff on purpose just to keep you watching.
Oh, do you remember when they used to have like a bowl of worms and they'd be like, they'd spoon the worms, and this is on the live streams because you'd see it, and they'd be like, all right, I'm gonna eat it, and then they'd do that for 30 minutes and they wouldn't eat it. And people are like, one more donation and I'll eat it, and then people go in and out and they don't say, oh, you're not eating it, or some people will.
Oh, 'cause
but
they tune out.
You just click on it and you're like, oh, this guy's just about to take a bite of these worms, but he just leaves it there and you would never eat it. And I remember, dude, there was this one time.
How long were you on there, Jack? How much did you donate?
Were you there when
How
you
much?
saw the actual eat?
Yeah,
when they
no.
ate it?
never eats it.
I was on this one guy's for 20 minutes, and I'm not kidding, because I was like getting ready for bed, so I was like brushing my teeth, do my thing, and he just kept saying he was gonna eat it, but he wasn't, and he had like lots of viewers, like 10,000 viewers at the time,
making money too.
and then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, the live ended. So So he didn't eat the worms. And I remember I commented on his latest, this is actually really bad. I commented on his latest TikTok after he went off of live. And I said something like you're a sham, like you'll never find love. No, something like basically I was just like hating on him,
should have eaten the worms.
I was like, why would you do what you do? Like you're taking people's attention for your own monetary gain and providing no value whatsoever.
That's TikTok though. I mean, let's be real.
People are the bottom of TikTok though.
Yeah.
Like they're peeling eggs that go on forever. Sometimes they're on loops.
Oh, the egg peeling.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Insane.
I've watched that way too much.
But to end the story, the guy got
egg
back
peeling.
to me. Because he saw the comment and he got back to me. He was like, "What did I do to you?" and I said, "You know what you did." And then that was where.
What if he doesn't? What if he
could change his whole?
What if his Wi-Fi?
His entire thing was the worm eating thing.
What if his Wi-Fi cut out the moment he took a bite and he's like, "Oh damn, he all cut out." He's just like innocent.
He needs to change careers. Yeah, maybe you could talk to him.
Maybe, change him.
Yeah.
The algorithm. My issue is that the algorithm I think is very dangerous, and it gets you into this echo chamber where it could lead you in a direction where all of a sudden that's all you get, and that's your only viewpoint. It's based on that. And the algorithm is so good at figuring out what that is that within like 3 minutes it already knows so much about you and what to show you.
Yeah, that's why TikTok
but it's
did
effective.
so well.
Yeah.
People think just because you like a video, that's the only way to do it, but like they're measuring watch time, interactions, obviously, you go to the comments more. And that's why TikTok killed the game. Like their algorithm, I had 0 followers when I first made my account, obviously. And on YouTube, at least at the time before Shorts existed, if you had 0 subscribers, you wouldn't be able to just post a long form and wouldn't get any views. Yeah. But like TikTok killed it at the beginning because I had one, and then it got shown to like 3 people or so. I think probably a certain percentage liked it, like 1 or 2%. Then it just snowballed, and now they're all doing it as well. But it kind of changed the game. Like they, like them or not, they definitely changed it all.
So what would you do if someone is starting off today? Like what would your advice be to them?
I think you need to find a niche, and it's super important, honestly. Like you can get viral by doing a lot of like cool ideas and whatnot, but like you need to have like your demographic and like niche of people that come for your type of video. So like mine's like cars and luxury and whatnot, like finance, like stuff like that. But I'd say like throwing stuff at the wall until you see something that you're experimenting with that works, and then just literally doing that again and again is the best way to at least blow up. And then you got to obviously evolve, or people will, you could just be a trend, but you got to try a bunch of different ideas and just keep posting them. Eventually, maybe something will work, and then you just run with that idea. But hopefully it's not just like a trend. Like you want to find like some type of video that isn't just a trend that will last for a week.
Is there a topic that you want to do that you haven't done yet? Or something that you're not going to do, but you know it's a good idea?
I mean, that one we mentioned earlier, I would like to go out to people in really bad cars, like really beaten down cars. Yeah. So that's definitely one of them. But that would give me a lot of flack, I think, with like brands and whatnot. And then there's some sketches that we've done that we've decided are probably not brand friendly, because you always got to kind of keep up. You don't want to be doing some crazy stuff. But there's some sketches and stuff that I'd like to do that are a little off the wall. Because
what?
My sense of humor is just like really screwed up. Yeah. So like some of the video ideas I have are just like, it wouldn't fly. I mean, just for TikTok, for example, like hyper violence, like, but it's a sketch, like where you're just like.
I was thinking it was gonna be like OnlyFans, sort of like. I thought we were going in that direction.
Oh no, I'm not like obsessed with violence either, but just like sketches where you're just like doing ridiculous stuff. You can't have like a gun in a TikTok video.
By a car going like 100 miles.
Yeah,
like that.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, I get like run over in a video or something like that. It's happened. Some guy hit me and ran while I was filming a video one time. Actually,
did you post it?
No.
Was he in a nice car?
He was, I was filming a video in Miami and I was running into the road. I like risk my life all the time, risk my life. Yeah. But basically I'm like, if I see a Bugatti, I'm weaving through traffic to go get this thing. But one car in Miami nicked me, basically, was going like 70 past me and just like completely decided to like swerve around me, hit me like just lightly on the back. But like if I was this much further back, would have been like dead. And then they run their plates because we call the police. We're like, this guy hit and ran. Turns out it was a stolen vehicle and this person was like on the run. So luckily I didn't, actually get hit.
Holy cow.
But I'd say to your point, some like stuff like that in the OnlyFans sphere and stuff like that. We try to stay away from it now.
Yeah.
There's only so many OnlyFans people you can run up to in LA as well, where it's kind of like people are tired of that. Yeah.
Do you have anyone signing a release?
No, I usually get permission though. Like, I mean, or it's like accepted. Like once I'm done, I'm like, hey man, thanks so much. And they're like, after I cut, I'll cut the videos early and they'll be like, oh, no problem. Like, Yeah, and that is kind of an
You
issue.
should film it when they say it's fine.
You should.
Oh, I have it. Yeah, so I'll cut the videos on TikTok.
Oh, yeah,
for the short form,
Yeah.
crack or whatnot. But yeah, exactly. I feel like someone at some point could. It's a whole weird thing though. Like in public, I can film someone. I talked to my lawyers and they're like, yeah, you can film if you're profiting off of it. It's
Yeah.
Do you know about that?
No, I don't. All it's going to take though is one viral video with someone who's like a public figure who is maybe running from the law or like something like that, or maybe like you're going to catch them with like a mistress or something like that in the car. It's going to go viral.
That's
and
happened?
That's happened. Yeah.
Yeah.
One guy. This is a short story. One guy in Dallas, my first couple times filming, he was getting in a car with some like good-looking woman, and he was in a suit. I got him in a video, and on camera, he goes, "You're the guy that," and then he just completely changed character. And he's like, "Dude, man, like I'll let you drive my Ferrari. I'll let you do whatever. Please don't post the video. I'm not supposed to be here." And I'm like, "Oh God!" And he's like, "Dude, you can do whatever. You can drive my car." He's like begging me, and I was like, "Oh gosh, okay, I won't post
And you
the
just
video."
assumed it was because of a mistress?
Yeah, well, he was with another woman next to him. So I mean, come on,
Come on.
come on.
Well, it could be in some legal trouble as well.
Maybe, yeah.
There could be a multitude of things on it. I don't think it has to just be that. I'd
That's
say that's
true.
a 50-50 on that, but it doesn't have to.
Yeah.
But I have a feeling it's going to be a situation like that where they don't think anything of it. They probably don't know who you are, and there's like, oh, some kid is just coming up to me. It goes viral, and they're like, well, I didn't consent to that.
Yeah.
I would highly recommend, if you don't already have media insurance, do you?
No.
Get it.
Media insurance.
Immediately.
What does that do?
So what it does is it protects you in the event of a lawsuit. And especially, normally I'm like, you never need media insurance, but for you, I'd highly recommend it.
Okay.
In the event someone sues you for something, you will be covered.
Oh,
and
wow.
it basically, yeah. So like I have one that I just feel just gives me peace of mind. It's worth it. It's probably going to cost you $20,000 a year, $25,000 a year, but that is going to pay for even a lawyer's retainer, like right off the bat, if something were to happen. With the amount of views that you're getting, it's probably going to be fine. But like one case, especially with people with money, they could afford to basically just bankrupt you.
Okay.
Yeah, you do any damage to them, even unintentional, they could sue you for damage.
Okay. And
Even
that would
if they
cover-
won't win,
that
but
would cover like a whole lawsuit essentially.
Yeah, you could select your tiers. So you could be like, I want to be covered up to 5 million or 10 million or 15 million.
Oh, so you get that much of potential coverage. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
My worry is that you do something to somebody and they just want to run you to the ground. Like, let's say you caught someone with a mistress, or you catch someone smoking, let's just say, and like that's bad for their image, and they lose a whole bunch of business. They don't think anything of it. Comes down, they lose a deal, and they come to you and say, I'm going to sue you. Let's just say they have no grounds to do that. But if they have money, they could just say, well, you know what? Fight me in court. And then it's a battle of who has more money.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, and you'll lose to or even if you win, then you have to countersue. And you have to spend even more money to get your money back. It's a nightmare. So I think just be insured.
I think that's media insurance. Okay.
Media insurance.
I think you're right on that's
I would do it. It's
something I need.
It's good peace of mind, and it's a write-off. Hopefully you will never need it.
Okay.
But I have the same thing, and it's worth it. It's just peace of mind. That's all.
Okay.
What questions do you have for us? We could turn this around if you want to. If you have any questions for Jack and I.
Well, I'm curious, like on I'll go revenue on you guys too. Actually, how much do you make, Graham, Stefan, for the whole year?
This year is going to be between probably 4 and 6.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are you investing all that money in the market right now?
Pretty much. I mean, the default is always to save it. So it's
There's inflation though.
No, not necessarily, because I like to keep cash on hand for opportunities that come up, or like if there's a good opportunity, it helps to have the cash on hand.
So are you buying right now into the
Absolutely,
right now?
every day.
Okay, every day.
I've been doing that for over 2 years now. So just like every day, I just buy into the market. Yeah, on a regular basis. Yeah. Exactly.
So are you at what point? I just want to take a guess here. What do you? And no one can know, obviously, but where do you think the market's going to bottom out here, S&P 500 percentage wise?
I have no clue. I mean, everyone's calling for, like, I don't know, as a guess.
Yeah.
Man, it's going to be a coin toss. I mean, my guess, I would not be surprised if the S&P gets to like 3,000, maybe 32, like somewhere around there.
Okay.
Wouldn't be surprised. I think it's possible, but I think it's also possible that inflation starts coming down and they stop raising rates as much.
Are you investing too?
Yeah.
Generally in like the S&P?
You don't want to know about.
Okay.
Yeah.
What is your portfolio looking like? Like as far as like assets, like what kind of stuff do you have?
Well, crypto was probably 10%. Now it's probably like 1.
What were you in? Were you in like some shit coins?
No, it's just like Bitcoin and Ethereum. But it's
Okay,
probably
me
not
too,
1
me too.
anymore.
The sick
Jack bought
conservative
it.
of crypto, yeah.
Jack
Yeah,
bought
like,
it 4,000
my average
Ethereum,
cost for everything was
60K.
just so high.
What, like
Because, like,
55K for like
Well,
Bitcoin?
no,
60?
no. Actually, Bitcoin wasn't that bad. My average cost on Bitcoin was probably like 40 or like 30.
Okay.
You know, no, it was probably like 30, 35.
Kind of similar too, yeah.
Yeah, and then as far as like the market, I actually had pretty good average costs before December, because in December I like just piled everything in. I was like, you know what? It's the end of the year. I have
too.
like a bunch of change, so I just went all in.
Yeah.
Terrible mistake. But we live and learn. You know, dollar cost averaging is the way to go. Apparently.
Well, I don't know. I've read about lump sum.
That's
It's just you get lucky
Yeah.
or you don't. And
Yeah.
the thing is, for me, I put in so much money in the market between November and right up to the very first of the year, December.
Literally me too.
I was just like, I
November
have a
to
lot of money
December.
now, and I was like, here we go. Very conservative, like S&P 500, like, and then like Apple, Google, like, you know, like I wasn't buying any.
yeah.
I bought like, if I buy like a bad stock, what I consider to be like a, you know, not fancy stock, like Lucid Motors or something like that, a little bit of a gamble, it's like a couple thousand. But I was like, oh, I'm good, S&P. So I'm not selling, so I know I'll be fine. But December, me too.
Yeah, it was
Almost
literally
all-
like the exact.
all
Yeah,
it.
I had literally no money.
Yeah.
I had no
me
money,
too,
but
yeah.
that's so funny. Yeah, it completely obliterated. But you know, we live and we learn.
Yeah.
and
We'll be fine. We'll be fine.
But I was also probably a little bit more speculative than you were. Like I had a portfolio, my Robinhood portfolio, and I think my principal in that was like 20 grand or something like that. And I brought it all the way up to 75 because I was investing like pretty early, and then once it hit 75, it was probably at right around 65 actually. I just went all in on margin. And I was like, because like
okay.
most of the margin though that I bought was like, it was like Apple stock. It was like pretty safe margin. It wasn't like sketchy stuff.
What's the rate on that for your margin?
It was probably like-
5%?
No, it was probably less. It was probably, I don't know what Robinhood is, maybe 3.5, 4.
Oh,
Yeah, I don't know what it is.
At
But
the time that you were borrowing, I think it was at like 2.9.
okay,
what's
sick.
it at now? Like 9
three-
or something?
Yeah, I don't know.
Something.
But I got completely obliterated, like that. But then again, you know, they do the whole margin call thing. You know, that whole thing happens. But
Yeah, that's
that
what
was
I was doing to people on the phone.
no, you
Margin
weren't.
call, yeah.
Were you really?
At Schwab, yeah, you margin call people all the time. I mean, you notify them, and it's horrifying for them. It's kind of sad, but also you're like, whoa, like look at this
Yeah.
person's crazy risk bet that they just did, and now
What
they're
do you
getting called.
what do you see on that? Like, do you look at their? You obviously see their investments. Like,
Yeah,
do you
yeah.
see stupid things that are going on there?
I mean, well, and at the beginning, you're kind of just like a phone slave when you're first starting out in this program. You know, but basically, they'd call in and you get some people on the line that would just be so rude and really rich, and some of them would have crazy 90% in one stock. Like they'd be like have $1 million portfolio, and it's like all in Lucid or like all in Tesla, which worked out for them maybe at the time. But a lot of Tesla people, like literally like 40% of their portfolio is in Tesla, and you're just like, whoa, like what are you doing? But they're just all doing it themselves. I don't know.
See, Robinhood did not call me. They just sent me a little thing. Oh, you're in a margin call. We're selling your shares automatically. So it wasn't.
I
as
don't know what
official.
exactly what it was like. I know you do notifications and whatnot, but you have to be a broker to actually call in and or be discussing directly with them. What I was doing, because I didn't get all my I didn't get my 7 basically, my Series 7. So I literally left right before I was about to take it. So I'd basically be interacting with people that would call in and be like, hey, what's going on with this? Why do I have a margin call? And I'd be like, it's not good, but here's a broker, do this or whatever.
Yeah,
until you're
Sure.
further along in the program.
What do you think of Tesla stock?
I think it's overvalued. I think it's way overvalued, but I was tired. It's kind of like Bitcoin. I was tired of just it going up. I don't see it as at this buying point as something that I would maybe long term, but I think I knew it was going to correct. And I don't think its correction now is as far as it could go, just based off of its market cap for the amount that they're selling. It's worth more than all of the other automakers combined. It's insane. It doesn't matter if you believe that they're going to do other stuff, and I'm sure they're doing other stuff that isn't just cars. I know they are, but it's still overvalued, I think. So I think if it hasn't happened completely yet, it'll go down, still go up, but not.
Yeah, when I bought the Roadster, I sold off a decent chunk of my Tesla stock at $1,028 a share.
Whoa! Wow.
Yeah, so thankful on that. And then I sold shortly after, because once you start selling, you're like, well, I'll sell more. So I sold off all but 100 grand of my Tesla stock.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, yeah, that's
So we'll see. We'll see what happens.
Swing
But
trade, man.
what's up?
You're a little swing trader.
No, that's not me. I've held on to that for 3 years.
Long swing.
3.5 years.
You're not a
I've
buy
held
and
it.
hold.
No. But I'm also going to be selling some
Long
losing
swing.
positions to
Yeah.
offset that, so I'm not going to owe any tax on that. But and then I took the money and I just put it in the S&P and an international index fund.
okay. Can
Yeah.
you only write off 3,000 in
No,
losses?
that's against personal income. So you could offset, let's say, long-term capital gains against losses. So let's just say I make $100,000 in Tesla stock, but I lost $100,000 in, let's just say, Coinbase. Now I don't have to pay any tax because I've used the gain to offset, or I've used the loss to offset the gain. Now, if I didn't have any gains to offset, you could write off up to $3,000 a year against your personal income.
Okay.
So so if you're W-2, you're making $100,000, you could write off $3,000 of that.
Okay, gotcha.
Per
Want
year.
to make sure I did that right.
Yeah, per year, or you
Mr.
spread it
Master.
across. But it doesn't make any sense to me because that number should be adjusted for inflation, and I think it should be higher.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, what is that useful for at all? I mean, I guess unless I don't know. It depends on your income level, but like $3,000 in the scheme of things, like
Yeah.
depending on if you're doing like a wash sale and stuff like that, it's just like I think they need to make it higher. Some people are losing big.
I know. Well, thank you so much for coming on. I really appreciate it. The one thing I would recommend you do is to get your free stock down below in the description. When you sign up for Public using the code GRAHAM, it's worth all the way up to $1,000. And you could add JLS Selby on Instagram.
That's
and
a good point. And we can
and
close
Alexander
out the podcast
_ Nava.
now.
That's it.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys. Oh, and
do it.
subscribe.
Heck
Oh, we have a tier on Patreon. It's $500 a month. But what that gets is twice a year, we're going to be hosting a private event where this person could come down. We'll be hosting, food, drinks, all the good stuff. They could come down and just hang with us for the night and just chat, just have a good time. Hey, Rick, you are on the podcast with myself, Graham, Jack, Daniel Mack, and Alex. How's it going?
Hey, doing good.
So first of all, we just wanted to call and thank you for the Patreon. We just put this up, and Jack was like, "Dude, we got someone.
You're the first person.
We got one." And so I wanted to personally call and thank you and see what made you do it.
Well, yeah, I mean, I kind of like mentioned on the message, like, I found you guys probably like the beginning of this year, and I've been an avid listener. I've listened to pretty much all your podcasts since then, and I've just enjoyed the show and was like, heck, might as well.
Oh my gosh. Well, thank you so much, man. I really appreciate it. Do you want to shout anything out really quick? We'll give you a free shout out.
No.
Like an Instagram. There's got to be something.
No, I don't even have an Instagram.
Rick, tell him to shout me out. Tell him to follow me on Instagram.
Rick, we're excited to meet you in person.
I have just started a company working to cure rare diseases called Everloom Bio. So I'll shout that out.
You're
Deal. Oh my
safe.
gosh,
Rick,
man.
Come on, man.
Well, here's the deal. This is you have my cell phone number. This is it. If there's anything you need, just feel free to shoot a text. I get a lot of texts, so if you don't get a response back, just maybe text again. But anyway, we're looking forward to meeting you. We'll keep you updated probably in the next few months on hosting some event in Las Vegas. But I really appreciate it. And are you cool if we include this in the podcast?
Yeah, totally do it.
Cool. All right.
Legend.
Well, thank you so much, man. I really appreciate it. And you're on the contacts now.
All right, sounds good, man.
All right,
Talk
I'll
to
see
guys
you.
later.
Bye.
All right, bye.
What a
Look at that. Look
man.
at that.
He's
That is
curing
so
rare
cool.
diseases.
So you got something that I do.
Yeah.
Just,
So
if
if you
cancer.
guys want to be like Rick, meet us in person. Get a shout out, and also meet Rick because you got.
You want to meet? I want to meet Rick now.
He'll be at the
Jeez.
event.
If you want to be like Rick, our Patreon is down below in the description. Thank you guys so much for watching, and until
Till
next
next
time. We had the best part at the very end.
Yeah,
Calling
that was
Rick.
fun.